So I wanted to go over what I noticed about the SFC team when I went to go watch one of their games, and I also wanted to talk about how I see things from a coach's perspective as far as the game is concerned, because I feel like a lot of players, they get mixed up in what I'm expecting out of them on the pitch. Now granted, we've been performing pretty well so far, but you know, there's always room for improvement. So I have my indoor board right here, but I have our shape as a 4-2-3-1. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, that's too many people. Well, sure, you're right, it is a lot of people. However, I wanted to put this up here so that way you guys can kind of see what I see from, you know, my perspective. And from my perspective, we have the tendency to want to play our central players kind of like a as a wing type position. But let's keep it a buck. There are no wings here. There really are no fullbacks here. Right, so if you strip our 4-2-3-1 of the wings and the fullbacks, what are you left with? You're left with the same formation that we play on indoor, and that's a we'll call it a 2-3-1, right? So that way everybody doesn't get it confused. These are midfield players, these are defensive players, and this is our attacker. I want you guys to understand that these are midfield players and not wings, so that way when it comes time for us to play, we're not constantly pinned out here, right? That's okay for some instances, right? But for this team right here, they're extremely well spread out, and we have a lot of space that they can exploit. So I need us to play in just a little bit more. This player right here, he's our central midfielder. He drops back into a defensive position when we need him, and then these guys pinch in, and this becomes our new defensive shape, is a 3-2, and then with the one being pinned, whichever center back is back there, right? Okay, now that we got that out of the way, one thing that I did notice about SFC is that they are extremely effective in using their 3-3 formation. Okay, they create a lot of good passing angles, and they have they can find the through ball very well. Okay, so my defensive players and my midfield players, you guys have to make sure that you're watching these in between spaces, right? If our striker goes to press, they're going to pass in a combination. Either they're going to play out this way, and then when this player goes up, they're going to play into space as this player's moving up. So we have to, guys, we have to cut off the passing lane. So when we're over here and we're splitting two players, and this person has the ball, and they play it out like this, we should, right? Let's make sure that we, right, split two, that's fine. If this player is going to go shut down this player, we have to make curved runs like that, so that way we mark this player. They can't play that player anymore. So what does this mean now? That means that now they have this through ball that they can play with this player right here, right? But because we're not a wing, our midfield should be ball side, right? Always ball side of the player that they may be receiving the ball. So we have this person covered, this person covered, this person's making this sort of movement. We can mark space, and we can mark player, and then we can play in a supportive type position and be ready for the switch, because if they have no immediate option, they'll either try to recycle back to their keeper, or they are going to make the diagonal cross into this area right here. So we have to make sure that whoever is here is watching not just the ball, not just the play, but what this player is doing. If this person motions like they're about to play the ball, that gives us plenty of time to get from where we are over into this area to delay. Defensive players drop, midfield players support, kind of in this sort of shape. let's say they play and they do win it, and we're over here like this. We have the initial press. The striker can be ball side again, always ball side when we're out of possession. Please, let's not forget that we have to play ball side when we are not in possession, unless we are all the way over here, but we shouldn't be. Right? We're going to position ourselves somewhere along here, so that way we can keep our eyes out for players making the run into these spaces right here. I cannot stress this enough. You have to keep an eye out for what's happening, not here, but everywhere else. You have to keep an eye out, especially if you're this far away from the play. If you're this far away from the play, you should be reading everything else that's going on and communicating to your team what's happening. So let's say this person is making the run, right? And you have to communicate to this person to drop a little deeper so you can mark. That has to happen. Then we get these sorts of players coming in, and they will play off the wall. But the thing is when they play off the wall, they have a player already ready to receive. So you, sir, have to be ready that when they play it off the wall, either A, we're making the run before them so we can retain possession, recycle it to our keeper, and our keeper can then send it into a better position for us. Those are some examples of things that I need you guys to make sure that you're paying attention on, okay? They are very physically, they are physical. They are definitely an aggressive team, okay? So you guys, when you get out there, right? When you get out there, you guys make sure that you are keeping yourselves composed, right? And appropriately aggressive, so that way we can answer their aggression with our aggression. Let's see, what else about them? Okay, so for us, when we are on the attack, they are going to play tight. They are going to play tight, kind of like this sort of shape, right? So we get the ball here, we can't take direct shots, okay? They have a good keeper, number one. Number two, their press is so tight that we're not going to be able to really get very many direct balls in there. Now granted, if you can, great, go for it. But the things that I would really like to see are us staying away from these areas. I do not want us getting tied up here at all. What I do want is I do want us to play in and then across, right? And then we have supporting players, always ball side, right? Because we want to receive the ball. Get the ball here, and then either A, chip it over to play a combination, or work it somewhere into this area so we can cross into this area and we can run onto the ball, or we can run onto the ball here, okay? Their keeper's good enough that if we keep taking direct shots, they have a really good chance at either A, retaining possession, right? Retaining possession, and then once they get possession, this is their open space. So even if we have our players up here like this, again, there's no offsides, so they can have a player here, they can play it over, and then boom, these two players right here are going to run with the ball, and then we may be cooked. But we don't want that, right? So how do we beat that? Right, we have our defensive players here, and we have their players, right? If one is here, that's okay. You can be a little closer to them. You don't have to be this far, right? You can be like this close to them. Our keeper needs to be super aware for any balls that may be coming in, because if they get the ball, right? Let's say they get the ball, they give it to this player turns, and now they boot it into this area. As this player is running, our keeper should be able to be comfortable enough, get the ball, turn, and play to one of our players, okay? I do expect our keeper to sweep at some point during this game, We will not just stay in the net the whole time rooting for the team. We need to make sure that we come out and we sweep and play for the ball in this sort of area. Okay? Again, stay away from these areas on the attack. Keeper, make sure that you're sweeping. Make sure that we're using combinations around the box, so that way we keep this guy on his toes and on his heels, so that way as soon as he plants, we can take our shot in goal. Okay? Again, they play a 3-3. We are going to be playing a 2-3-1. And I say that because we have 3 midfielders. We don't have 1 midfielder and 2 wings. Okay? That is not what we do. These are gaps. These are spaces that they can exploit. It's okay. Pinch in, play in the half spaces. That's what I want to see. I want to see us play in the half space. And if they happen, let's say they do get the ball and they do happen to run over here. That's okay. Look, we have shift, 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 shift. And then as their players are moving up to receive the ball, right? Our player, this guy doesn't have to win the ball. He just has to provide pressure. I want him to maybe win the ball, but mostly I want him to apply pressure so that way this person can't do anything. This person should be marking, man marking this guy right here. Then you have support here. This guy can then run around for support here. Press the ball, play the ball to here, right? Turn, set pass. Don't sit there and watch the play. Set, run, play the ball. That way this person can get it. Then we got runs, then we got runs, then we got runs. We have 4 people on the attack. 4v2. Boom. Combinations make goals happen. Okay? Those are the sorts of things that I would like to see. Again, stay away from these areas. I don't want us getting pinched up over there. Keeper, sweep for the ball. Our formation is a 2-3-1. No wings. There are no wings. We'll have wings when we play outdoor. But as it stands for right now, we have 2 midfield players, left and right, 1 central mid player, 2 center backs right here, and a striker. Those are our positions. Let's not forget it, okay? I'll see you guys out there tonight.